What up? It's your boy Oreo Gaming, man. We back here with another video. This is part 2 to my video that I did yesterday. As I said, this is going to be like a quick two-parter. Just kind of going over my personal, like, quote-unquote perfect rosters for Mortal Kombat 11. And so this video will be my personal favorite, or my personal like choices for DLC. With this, I went with 10 DLC characters overall, because I mean, obviously, you know, like NetherRealm goals, they've gone up every year from, you know, 4 DLC characters in MK9, 6 in Injustice 1, 8 in MKX, and then 9 in Injustice 2. It could be 11 or 12 or whatever. I just picked 10 because it seems the most logical. If MKX had 8 and then Injustice 2 had 9, I wouldn't think they would jump to 11 or what. Y'all understand. I went with 4 guest characters. I probably should have went with like 5 or something, because after I didn't even realize it when I did my like perfect roster, that like picking fucking like 4 to 6 or whatever MK characters outside of people that I already had on my main roster list would be so fucking hard, because I like really ended up picking just like my personal just favorite characters. So this was hella hard for me to pick. And yeah, and I usually with this, like how I said in my video yesterday, I took all like practicality out of making this list and just pick characters to be in the game based on who I like personally. I ultimately, with MK11, I kind of mixed that. I kind of mixed my personal opinions for characters who I want in the game, and I also mixed in like actual practicality in terms of like these characters could somewhat maybe end up being DLC in the game. Someone that I didn't add on my list because I said at first like, oh nah, they would never do that or whatever, even though again this list is just my personal like who I would love to have in the game, is Ryu Hayabusa from, you know, the Ninja Gaiden series and also the Dead or Alive series. If you guys fuck with DOA, Ryu Hayabusa would be fucking absolutely incredible in this game. People that know me personally know how much I love Spawn as a character, which obviously Spawn is on this list. Of course, he's the first character that I wrote down. But Ryu Hayabusa in this game, I think I would like to see more. I can't say I would like him over Spawn. I can't say that. But I don't know, because I just think if variations come back to MK11, that's where I think Ryu Hayabusa would really fucking be like great, because you know he can use the dragon swords, and then he has the Kusari Gama, and he has the tonfas, and just the flails and the scythe and all these fucking weapons. I think a character like Ryu Hayabusa would be fucking just fantastic for a game like MK11, and his design, oh my god, Jesus. But like ultimately I didn't put him on this list for the reason for whatever I said, like it's not practical. But getting into the 4 characters that I did have on my list, again, like I said, Spawn is 100%. Of course, I think Spawn is 100% going to be DLC in this game. Up next, this is another personal pick, Edward Scissorhands. I know that is like far off, and I know there's probably like a 5% chance Edward makes it into this game. But Edward Scissorhands, if y'all don't know, like the movie itself is one of my favorite movies ever, and Edward Scissorhands has always been like a really dope character to me in terms of his design and all that, and the scissor hands, of course. And I think if you can get the license for it, because I do believe Edward Scissorhands is owned by Warner Brothers, and so it shouldn't be much to get the license. But I think if you put a creative twist on Edward Scissorhands and actually make him a fucking fighter with his hands and all that, I think you can do some hella dope stuff with him. I'm not sure how many variations you can make out of him, except for, you know, I can see him having a Baraka style variation where he's just up close and personal and slicing the fuck out of dudes and shit. and then maybe you make up something where he can shoot scissors. I don't know, like, yeah, like variation wise he's kind of limited, but I just had to throw him on this list personally because I just think it would be dope to see him in a game like MK11. Number 3, my third DLC character. This list was kind of hard too because NetherRealm, at least how I see it, they are really kind of like, the list is getting shorter and shorter for like obvious DLC characters to go with, guest characters at least, for these Mortal Kombat games, because, you know, they kind of blew their load, so to speak, with having Alien and Predator in the same game. That 100% made sense though, I can't knock them for that. But then you also, in the same game where you have Alien and Predator, you put Jason in it, and you put Leatherface in it, and you've already used Freddy, so they are really kind of starting to run low, at least how I see it. They still used to have like Ash from the Left 4 Dead, right? Or, you know, and that type of shit. You could always throw, I guess, in like a Walking Dead character or something like that. But yeah, Pennywise is the next character I picked, mostly because, I mean, obviously he had a hot ass movie with It in 2017, the remake, and it just seems perfect for NetherRealm to do again. It, or, you know, Pennywise isn't necessarily a fighter, but I still can, like, you can say the same with Leatherface in a sense, but they made it work, so there's that. And fourth, I was really struggling with this. I guess I could have gone with Ash Williams, now that I think about it. He is definitely probable, but I actually, this was another personal one, because like I said, this is my perfect like DLC. Like, if these were the guest characters, I'm 100% for all of this. And I said fucking Ip Man, or some other like prominent martial arts like figure. You know, like I said, I completely was done after this point. To go along with this, Reiko from Ninja Assassin, the 2009 movie, that's one of my favorite movies fucking ever. If y'all haven't seen that shit, go watch that shit. He would be fucking incredible for this game. Again, him using the different weapons and all that shit, he could be great for the variation system if that does come back. But yeah, Ip Man or some other martial arts figure, like I said, with it, shit, throw Bruce Lee in there if you want to, fucking whoever. You know, it doesn't even have to be like a real person, because obviously Ip Man, in terms of the Donnie Yen incarnation, like, Donnie Yen is not actually fucking Ip Man. Y'all understand what I'm saying. You know, somebody of that nature. Now, getting into these Mortal Kombat characters, I picked 6. Off top, Nitara would have been dope for the game. Like, I think her design you could do a lot with. I ultimately had her on this list, but I took her off. I probably would replace her on here because Kotal Khan and Cassie Cage I have on this list. Again, remember, practicality is out the window with this list. Really the only reasons I have Kotal and Cassie on this list is because I simply could not think of anybody else. I'll throw out a couple names. Frost is one that I know a lot of people want to see. A lot of people wanted her to be playable in MKX when she was an NPC. Lemme is another one. I had her on the list, but I also took her off. But yeah, I believe those are the only other characters kind of that I had. But starting it off with the first character I thought of is Kai. You know, Liu Kang click, whatever you want to call it. I think Kai wasn't necessarily the coolest character of the 3D era, but I think with his abilities and what you can do with his design, he would be really dope. Onaga is next, obviously one of the bigger, you know, big bads in Mortal Kombat. I think Onaga could be a really cool character, you know, and I would like to see him as a DLC character. Third is Nightwolf. I didn't like Nightwolf at all in MK9. I don't generally like the Apache characters, like the Apache warriors and whatnot, or, you know, Indians or natives, like whatever you want to call them. I've never been a fan of them, but for some reason I do think with MK11, I think you can do a lot with his design and he could be really dope. And the final character, like I said, I've already discussed Kotal and Cassie, is Jade. I think Jade would be really dope. Jade has always been my favorite female in Mortal Kombat, and so I would like to see her pop up in the game. And yeah, so that was my list for the characters for DLC that I would like to see in Mortal Kombat 11. Let me know your guys' picks for DLC. If you want to do 10 characters like I did, if you want to split it up, 5 and 5 or 6 and 4, however you want to do it, you can do that in the comments. Just let me know. You can let me know a couple guests that you would like to see, a couple MK characters you'd like to return, whatever. Let's just talk about that in the comments, man. It's been Oreo Gaming, man. New videos all week, every week. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe, man.